several social media platforms are banning and closing down these stock trading groups. Facebook tells us vaguely that they closed down one of those stock trading groups because it violated their community standards, and it had nothing to do with the frenzy in the rally for some of these stocks. And there was one interesting thing that came out yesterday afternoon, a job posting. So it looks like Robinhood may be preparing for a call from Washington. They are currently looking for someone that is based in D.C., 8 years experience on Capitol Hill, as well as experience with legislative affairs and regulations. Interesting timing, Neil.
Where is it leading?
We don't know just yet. I mean, we were first to report that they were looking at a market manipulation case, a pump and dump, essentially, to pump up these stocks that are in question, meaning there are certain players on message boards pumping them up, drawing people in, keeping the price going higher, and then dumping the shares at some point when they reach their highs. And there's some evidence that did occur. Those cases are really hard to prove, particularly anonymously. And you know what's fascinating here? It's like the sort of mainstream media meme is that it's the little guy against the big guy, and that's the sort of tension here. This is really kind of the little guy against the little guy when the dust settles. In my view, it's going to be the little guy that's smart enough on social media, on using a Robinhood app, and they might not be so little, pumping these stocks up, ginning up interest in a short squeeze, and then getting out at the top. And then there's going to be the little guy who really believes that they should stick in this because maybe GameStop is going to 1,000 instead of 500, and loses his or her short when it goes back down to 5. Because the sort of metrics of its business model is just not worth $500 a share. And that's probably my bet, because history repeats itself, is probably going to happen. And I really think, regulators are meddling in this. It just are not going to allow the market to take care of it. The market will take care of this. The market will show that GameStop is not a $500 stock or $1,000 stock. It's a $5 stock. That might happen. When that happens, people are going to feel a lot of pain. They deserve that pain. That'll create consequence to their action. That's the way markets work. Listen, there was the market mechanism screwed over those hedge funds. By the way, it's not all of Wall Street. It's a couple of hedge funds a bunch of hedge funds that went short stocks that probably
Well, that's not the way, as you know, Charlie, the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes, and believe it or not, the Ted Cruz is united on this, feel about it. Now, Congresswoman Cortez said this: for so many people at home that are seeing this happen, people were feeling like everyday people were finally able to proactively organize and get back at the folks that have historically had all the marbles on Wall Street and forced one hedge fund into an existential crisis. So this is seen as going against the man, prether much.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to take market advice from Alexandria Cortez. Her and I graduated from the same high school, believe it or not, Yorktown Heights High School. The SEC has gone after short sellers in the past. Trust me on this. I've done a lot of reporting on this. My view is we need more short sellers. We need more. The natural inclination of the markets, Neil, is to tout stocks, that stocks should go up. We need short sellers to be cynical. That helps people decide what stocks to buy and sell. My view is we need more short selling, not less. And one of the, I think, problems out of this whole thing is we're going to get less short selling, maybe.
So let me ask you this finally. There's a fear that a lot of people have been asking me, Charlie, then why is this spilling over to the general markets? Now, a pat response would be that a lot of these guys who are losing money on these bets have to sell some of their winning positions, and some of the big names that have run up, the Amazons and the Apples or what have you, and it's going to impact those stocks and the averages that house those stocks. Do you think that's a legitimate fear, that it has a spreading sort of a virus effect?
Yes, it's a legitimate fear. And by the way, yes, they are. You're absolutely right. They are selling their long positions to raise funds to cover their short positions, obviously. And right. Because the short positions to cover it is so expensive right now, they have to sell more and more stocks. There is more than a theoretical scenario where if there's so many hedge funds that are short these stocks, they're selling their long positions, that's going to cause massive market disruptions.